I do have permission from the owner to launch this car. Let's go. God damn! This is not a normal car review. It's my series where I talk about the feel of cars. Steering feel review. Today we have a Subaru Legacy Spec B with the 3-litre. This is the first Subaru I've had on steering feel review. Throughout my life, I think 3 or 4 times I've come very close to buying a WRX STI, but I was always just slightly wary of the reliability. This is a Subaru that doesn't have as many problems, but it's a bigger car. When it came out, this would have been the luxury option. So when we take it out for a spirited drive, is it still going to give me some of those feelings, some of that engagement? And we're going to talk about how it all feels when we get out on the road. A huge thanks to Josh for bringing this car out today. Most people don't get to be as honest in car reviews as I do. And I understand the privilege that I have. The cars that I get for review are not from companies. I don't have to sign any contracts. I just tell you guys what I think. And that is rare on the internet. So for owners like Josh that's brought this car today, and for everyone else, a massive thank you. I really do appreciate it. You mean more to me than you know. If this is not your first episode of Steering Feel Review, maybe subscribe. This series is not going anywhere. It's my favorite thing I've ever done on YouTube. This car has a wheelbase of 2,670 millimeters. I think especially compared to modern cars, it's not that big a car. The steering rack ratio is 15:1, which is pretty average. This is my standard list of things I test. Every one of those is a chapter in the YouTube player down below, so you can skip to the part you're most interested in. I think there's only one thing left to do. Let's go and take it out for a drive, starting with spirited driving. Let's go. She's got some poke. This is not a slow car. That's quite nice. I don't quite have the confidence yet, but we'll find out if I gain it. This is the gearbox from a WRX STI. It's a good gearbox. Yeah, this engine fucks, man. I don't know if it's because this car's light, but it feels faster than the numbers would suggest. The 4-wheel drive too, I never have issues thinking about deploying the power. I can go full throttle mid-corner. The car is unfazed. This is one of my favorite corners. Let's enjoy it. That was a lot of fun. Let me tell you guys about the steering. Directness is a measure of how responsive the steering is, how quickly the car turns when you turn the steering wheel. It's a relatively direct rack. I don't feel like I need that much wheel turning to move on the road. The dead zone is pretty minimal. How much do I need to do to wiggle? Yeah, there we're wiggling. That right there is like the dead zone. That's not huge. Let's see how it feels in the corners. Yeah, small adjustments in the steering you can feel on the road. It has this slightly strange character. It feels less direct as a result of the weighting, I think. But if we're objective about it, this is quite a direct rack. I don't, look, that much there, and I'm turning on the road. But I do think we got to talk about the weighting. Weight is all about how light or heavy the steering is, and how that changes the harder you turn the steering wheel. The weighting is strange. It's quite a light steering rack. Like I can turn it hard with one finger. When I put it through a corner, it's still light and it doesn't really weigh up much. There's a little bit of a weighing up feeling. This car doesn't feel particularly sporty in the way it steers. The car's owner said to me, you might find the steering a touch vague, and I think that's a great way to describe this weighting. It's like kind of light, maybe a little disconnected, but it's weird because the steering is direct. It just doesn't communicate. But what I will say is the chassis gives a ton of confidence. A 4-wheel drive is doing a lot here, but it's also, the chassis is not stiff, it moves. And it's telling me how much grip I have as it leans. It's one of the rare cars that maybe they don't communicate so much through the steering wheel, but you really feel what's going on through your backside. I wonder if this is the way all Subarus are. Texture is all about the feeling of the road through your hands. This is another place where the vagueness really makes itself present. I think it's even more so in the texture than the weighting. There is a bit of a buzz in the steering wheel. It's telling me maybe about bumps, but I feel like Subaru wanted this to be a daily drivable type car, and one of the things you don't want in a car that's easy to drive is the steering wheel rattling around with the surface of the road. I don't normally do this, but I feel like we need a rewind and repeat on this clip. I do have permission from the owner to launch this car. Let's fucking go. God damn! Bro. No, Subaru all-wheel drive hits different. I've driven like Golf Rs and RS3s, RS5s, BMW X-Drive. Nah, they do not hit like this. When that clutch connects with the flywheel and the power gets sent to all four wheels at the same time, you know, Subaru says symmetrical all-wheel drive. I'll tell you now, is not a buzzword. Every wheel is spinning and driving you forward. This is Steering Feel Review. I don't talk about drivetrains unless they are exceptional. That was exceptional. Also, this gearbox is gearing nuts. I think the top of second is at like 55 miles an hour, so you're forced to go to third on your way to 60. And that is not good for the 0 to 60 specification bullshit, but for driving on the road, it's so enjoyable. You get another gear change on the way to the speed limit. Drivetrain, phenomenal. Let's talk about normal driving. Legacy Spec B on the motorway. Never need a downshift, just roll into throttle and she'll get you there. Steering doesn't get heavier at high speeds. It's like beautifully light. It's direct enough, a little bit of dead zone for going straight. Big creamy engine. The car feels long wheelbase. It feels very settled. It's not nervous. And you can sit here for hundreds of miles, drive up and down the country. You would never complain about this. What is this car like to drive around town? It's not slow, it's not annoying, it's light. The weighting is very consistent. It stays the same at every speed, it seems like. Like, I don't need to be here. This is strange because there's not many older cars that give me this sense of I don't need to be here. Usually it's the modern car's electric rack, over-assisted, really light. But this car has that same feeling. Also, it's a bigger car. It's not unruly around town. Cars of this generation didn't get stupid wide, so it's nice to drive here. Yeah, this car has this lovely character. It reminds me kind of a Jaguar. It's like this grown-up feeling car. Let's see what the self-centering is like. Hydraulic cars sometimes don't like to self-center. That's not too bad. A little bit slow. What is a Legacy like to park? Steering still very light, even for parking. That's quite impressive. Like, I'm dry steering it right now and it doesn't feel that heavy. Conclusions and scores, starting with this car as a whole. You've got this saloon-shaped body with this comfortable, low-slung, soft driving position. The car is incredibly comfy. The suspension is super compliant. It's a really nice car to drive normally. But then you have this exceptional drivetrain. The engine is fantastic, and there's no way I believe this makes 250 horsepower. It feels like it makes much more. Part of the reason for that is the gearbox. The gearing is so good. It feels like a racy engine and transmission. Loads of torque, loads of power at the top of the rev band, and that's then connected to this symmetrical all-wheel drive, four-wheel drive system, which is brutal in the way it sends you down the road. This interior is really comfortable. It's 20 years old, so some of the switchgear doesn't feel quite as nice as it maybe could. Maybe the switches feel cheap, but the way it drives can never be described as cheap. The fact it's a reliable Subaru is also really impressive, because some of them can be a bit finicky. We know this about WRX STIs. This car's on 110,000 miles, and it feels factory fresh. I would buy one of these cars to drive every day. With that said, let's talk about the steering scores. I think for spirited driving, this car gets a 5.5 out of 10. It's quite direct. The weighting doesn't quite satisfy me. There's not as much texture as I would like, but there is some. It doesn't feel like a modern electric rack that's completely numb and devoid of feel. There's something there. There's a little bit going on. In some elements, it's not as much as I would want, which is why it ends up with a 5.5, but it's genuinely good. For normal driving, this is one of the better cars we've ever had on Steering Feel Review. This car reminds me a lot of modern Golf GTI, and I gave that car a 7.5. It's easy to drive, stable and comfortable on the motorway, easy to park, easy around town. I'm going to give this a 7.5 for normal driving like the Golf GTI. I think it's an exceptional car to daily. I'll be honest, I didn't expect to like this car as much as I've liked this car. When you look at these cars, they look like granddad mobiles, right? You think they're just going to be big, soft, woolly cars. And while they are, this one also has some spice. The drivetrain, the all-wheel drive system make this car engaging. YouTube thinks you should watch this video next, but I think if you enjoyed this video, you'll like the Steering Feel Review playlist, especially the Jaguar XJ and the Golf GTI. I think those are two great comparisons to this car. My name's Mick. I drive cars. Peace.